Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
I just listened to your talk. It was a fantastic talk. One of the things that stood out to me was what you said about the talent shortage, particularly in the construction space. And I know that the thrust of what you were talking about had to do with attracting talent to the space. But one of the things that I'm always dealing with, companies like Turner and other large organizations that we help with recruiting, is how do we retain talent? So I just wanted to ask a couple questions that way. And I don't know if there's anything off the top of your head that you'd love to offer to our audience, insights, ideas, thoughts.
I think what's really important when it comes to retention in individuals is understanding who that person is. I mean, yes, we can look at programs that are company-wide, but it really gets down to who that person is individually and understanding what they're bringing to the organization and appreciating who they are. And I think that connection goes a lot farther than, say, a lunch or even a mentorship. But having that one-on-one connection to me, is primary.
That's fantastic. I love hearing that. Our podcast is all about relationship. What we do is all about relationships. So I love hearing anything related to that, because at the end of the day, business, building teams, it's all about relationship, right? So I'm curious, even with that, as a follow-up question for you, is how do you facilitate that over at Turner Construction in terms of doing that at scale?
Yeah, it's interesting. First of all, I'd like to say that when I came into construction, I had no idea that it's about relationship building. Yes, it's building buildings, but it's relationship building first and foremost. And it starts at the local level. You have to have your leaders engaged. They have to be able and willing to sit one-on-one with individuals. And if they can do it, then those under them are willing to do it. And it just perpetuates itself, that having those individual conversations. And it doesn't have to be something you do every day. It could be, hey, once a month, or let's get a group of 5 people together for lunch, or do a breakfast, or something, just to recognize the individual employee and what they're bringing to the table.
I love it. The little things go a long way, and creating those environments where people can kind of let down their hair, so to speak, and share about their experiences, share about what motivates them, and being able to do that in a context that's not necessarily behind a closed door, but maybe out in a meal. I think that makes a huge difference.
I learned that early on from my mentor, Steve Fort, who's our SVP out in our South Carolina office. He came from the military background, which is interesting, but he made a point of knowing about people, their families, their kids' names, what they're doing, how they're doing. If somebody had a sick spouse, making sure that we recognize that and send them a care package of some sort, or even just a card. And that is carried on through the years to our current leadership, who recognize people's birthdays, and just the little things go so far, and it makes you feel like that this is where you belong.
Totally. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Tracy has some great wisdom, some great insight. So if you'd like to learn more or find out more about what she's doing at Turner Construction and how she's building culture with her team on the ground, feel free to reach out to her on LinkedIn, and I'm sure she'll connect with you there. So thanks.